Hello and welcome back. How does a business line of credit work? Anyhow, wouldn't it be amazing if you had an extra 50, 100,000, or maybe even $200,000 additional cash flow to help you in your business? In this episode, I'm going to show you how. In today's video, we're going to talk about what a business line of credit is and what it can be used for. We're also going to talk about what business lines of credit are available, application requirements, fee structures, and most importantly, how to secure a business line of credit. So you may be asking yourself, what is a business line of credit anyhow? It can be a little bit confusing because there's other competing products. So first, let's talk about a credit card. A credit card is where they give you a certain amount of money, and then you can use that money throughout the month as you wish. And then you have to pay an extraordinarily high interest rate, maybe 16 or 20%. The other type of business kind of loan product that's out there, that's well known, is just going to be a straight up business loan. This is where you secure a certain amount of money, you have a specific term on repayment, and you pay that certain amount every single month at a specific APR. So that's a business loan. You've got your credit cards, and then there's your business line of credit. And it's a little bit different than a credit card and definitely different than a business loan. Essentially, what you're going to attain is you're going to secure a certain amount of money to help your business. Let's say that you're offered $250,000 as an example. A business line of credit only activates when you actually need the money, and you only pay interest on that business line of credit when you're using the money. So it works kind of like a credit card-ish. The main difference, the predominant difference is that it's going to, in most cases, have a lower APR, a lower fee structure, and they're a little bit harder to find. Your banks aren't going to typically advertise business lines of credit. They will advertise your credit cards, they will advertise your business loans, but not typically your business lines of credit. And the predominant reason is because it's not that they're not that popular, it's just that they make less money on those products, so they advertise them less. Okay, so what can you use a business line of credit for anyhow? You can literally use it for anything that you need in your business. You can use it to manage cash flows. You can use it for inventory. You can use it for covering payroll, investing in a new project, or just to expand your current business. You can literally use a business line of credit for anything that's going to help you grow your business. So what are the advantages of having a business line of credit? The predominant advantage is that it helps a small business with cash flow. And what I mean by cash flow is it may help you pay your employees. It may help you pay your vendors to create whatever it is you're creating. It may help pay your lease on your building. Small businesses in general typically do have cash flow issues, meaning that let's say that we're a small business that makes widgets, and we've got a warehouse, we've got raw materials, we've got a lot of people that we have to pay, and then ultimately the consumer or the client will buy those widgets from us, and they may take 30 or 60 days to pay. And in the process of all that, we've got cash flow, potentially cash flow issues. That means that we've got to pay our employees, we've got to pay our warehouses, we've got to pay for all those raw materials. We've got to pay all these things whether we're getting paid or not. So a business line of credit can be very beneficial in situations like that. Another advantage to having a business line of credit is it can help your credit rating, provided that you use it properly and you pay it back on time. Having a large line of credit extended to you shows other lenders that you have the ability to not only borrow a significant amount of money, but also pay it back on time. It's going to help your credit rating, and it's going to build out your credit profile so that in the future you can actually borrow more money if needed. Maybe this time you're able to borrow $50,000 or $100,000 as a business line of credit. Next time you might be able to borrow $250,000 or $300,000 depending on the circumstance. And one of my favorite advantages of a business line of credit is it has lower interest as opposed to credit cards, and in many cases lower interest as opposed to business loans. Before we get into the credit requirements for a business line of credit, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll be working hard to bring you a video every weekday over credit, lending, and other personal finance topics. All right, so there's two different types of business lines of credit. One is going to be secured and one is going to be unsecured. The secured lines of credit are just that. You're going to have to put up some personal asset in order to get that business line of credit. The unsecured means that you're literally just signing your name to get that business line of credit. It's based on your name and your credit. Usually, unsecured business lines of credit go up to approximately $100,000. If you're going to borrow more than $100,000, likely they're going to want you to secure that debt with something. As far as the unsecured lines of credit are concerned, in almost all cases, unless you have got a gigantic corporation on the business side, your business line of credit is going to require a personal guarantee. Now, there's a lot of things all over the internet that say you shouldn't ever have to personally guarantee anything on the business side, but I'm here to tell you that's just not the way it works. 99% of any business credit offerings that are significant from major financial institutions are going to require you as a business owner to sign on the dotted line. It's going to require you as a business owner to make that personal commitment that if I don't pay this back, then I'm personally taking responsibility for that item. Now, I know that may seem a little counterintuitive, especially if you have an LLC and it's got its own life and its own entity. To personally guarantee things, sometimes business owners really don't like to do that, but in almost all cases, it's absolutely necessary, regardless of what you hear on the internet. So how do I attain a business line of credit anyhow? Well, you can search the internet, research lenders. They're all over the place, right? As I mentioned, the financial institutions, your fintech companies, your online type banks, they're not going to advertise business lines of credit. It doesn't suit them well to do that because they don't make as much money on those products. Remember, they make money on credit cards and business loans. But most of them do have a business line of credit. You just have to ask specifically for it. Okay, now when you go to apply for a business line of credit, you found the lender. Understand that they are going to go through your personal situation and your business situation in depth, involved. It's not a situation like a credit card where you just get an automatic approval. They're going to want financial records. They're going to want history. They're probably going to want bank statements. They're going to want to know how you're doing on your personal side. So it's a very invasive process. Don't think that you're going to be able to get a business line of credit out of nowhere. Again, there's a lot of people on the internet that say you can get $100,000 or $200,000 or $50,000 with basically really bad credit and no history at all. For a business line of credit purposes, remember, it's done based on your own personal guarantee, and it's based on how well your business is doing. Okay, now if you find that the application process for a business line of credit is too involved, it's too invasive, and you're not a fan, you can always fall back on credit cards. There's plenty of business credit cards available on the market that will offer you 12 months, zero interest, and in some cases, pretty decent interest rate terms, 16 to 19% if you have good to excellent credit. So you can always fall back on credit cards. The problem with a credit card is you may not solve your cash flow issues. If you get a $10,000 or $20,000 business credit card, maybe it has zero interest for 12 months, that may not solve your cash flow issues. You may need a whole lot more money than that, and that's where a business line of credit comes into play. Now that you've discovered the ins and outs of a business line of credit, remember, having great personal credit is going to be part of the application process for your business line of credit. Making sure that your business financials are in order is also going to be another really important part of that.